Hello.
Hello. Let's put
Hey,
cameras.
fans. Scott in the
Scott,
Lighthouse.
how are you
Fuck
doing? Hang on, I'm
yeah.
just trying to get this.
Yay. Happy to see you.
I
I'm
know,
going to
look at
show up
you.
myself for a bit.
Get the what?
Yay.
Look at that face. Oh, I missed it. How are you doing?
Doing good, bro. Amazing. Happy, grateful, excited. Vital.
I
Vital
love
is a
that.
motherfucker. Yeah. It's
Healthy,
cool.
happy, vital, eh?
Healthy, happy, vital. Yeah.
I love
Healthy,
it.
happy, vital. Yeah. It was like HHV.
Yeah, I was just like figuring out the acronym of it. I was like, they both work. I like this.
Hey, what's Garrick? Hey, Gabe.
What's up, my brothers? I'm super grateful to have you amazing brothers here. So amazing. To see you, Scotty.
I know, I'm grateful to be here now. What is it? The best way to start the week off, though, too. That's what it's like. Gets all the energy going, gets all the things going, get all the questions going, it's just good. It's just great.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that this is going to be a really important shift in the Lighthouse is having energy and vitality with Sagitas and Scotty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, buddy.
I love it. I know it's just he does movements.
Yeah, so
What
it's a
time?
Monday start. You start the Monday, right? Now.
Yeah.
And yeah, here is 7 p.m. or no, 6:30 or something.
Your time is like 6:30?
Yeah, p.m.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Tanya.
Hello.
You showed up. Yay! Welcome to the Lighthouse.
Oh, we just spoke, right?
Yes, we did.
It's still good to see you though.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
Tanya,
so
how was
welcome.
your trip around the world in Latin America?
Amazing. The last 2 months has been, yeah, life-changing. So I just arrived a couple of days ago, struggling with jet lag still, but was really nice. Was really mind-blowing. So yeah.
Shining, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like you can't describe that in words. You're gonna see, experience, and feel that. And it was.
Well, your smile says a lot.
Thank
I see
you.
how happy you are. Like, it seems like a beautiful mission you're on to.
Yeah, it was like actually like I booked a flight when was it? Like Friday a week ago because I missed my parents and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, what do you think if I come over for Christmas? And she was like, oh my God, that would be wonderful. So I just booked a flight and said, okay, let's 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 come back and see. I mean, I can always go back anytime, but that was really nice.
It's beautiful that we did that. Beautiful Christmas time, family time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
What was your
Christmas, like with no tree, it was like, no, I need a tree.
Yeah, the
What was
tree
your
definitely
biggest
helps set it up a little bit good.
What was your biggest takeaway from your trip?
Sorry, Eric.
I was just sharing what was the biggest takeaway from your trip? You frozen?
I think so.
It seems like that's a thank
Good way
you.
to be.
Hello.
Serious pondering thought.
Yeah, just
That's a
deep.
beautiful way to like it's still processing. What was that?
Still processing.
So good.
Processing.
Such a
She's
great
gonna come back. Yeah. So meanwhile, Scotty, how are you? What's going on?
Oh, it's been good, man. Getting back. Well, the family time was nice during the Christmas time, which was well needed. Less gym than I thought for the last little bit. Like we still hit it. You know, got a couple days in, but really focused on the food the last week, where it's just like, when you have a crappy day, when you're like, oh, like, you want to hit the sugars and the sweets after having a big turkey dinner, and you do it one day, then you're like, I was like, I'm good. Like, I had the sweats on, I had like a good little spike. I felt like a kid that just crushed a bunch of candy. And I'm like, okay, I need to get back on this. And then like nailing in my breakfast, my snacks, and my lunch was like, okay, now I can feel better throughout the day, even when I'm going for dinner, which was a big step for that. And just I put Sagitas. It was always moving, which was nice. Where it's like family dinner, I was playing with the kids, I was going outside. I was just like, whatever I can do to keep myself from not just sitting and indulging in all the carbs, just being lethargic. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. So it was nice. It's definitely nice to see some family and some little ones that I haven't seen in like some of them years. So it was just like they're all big groups together and everybody's living off the energy. It was just like, oh, like everybody's just in it. I was like, this is great. So when you start getting the empathetic energy, yeah, like that. It was like, okay, we're moving, we're doing things. It was good. So what about you? How was your
cool to hear.
holiday break there? Did you go anywhere? Did you go back home?
I was with my family, and then I went to meet friends in capital, and we met Santa Claus that made the Christmas.
I love
So
that.
it was cool. It was yeah. It was cool, a cool experience. We were dancing and doing all kind of the being kids. Let's put it that
Amazing.
way. And I've been creating gifts for people. Yeah, it's been expressive and also a lot of movement. And I experienced some kind of like rebirth on the Christmas night that I was very interested in, like out of cocooning situation where I felt so miserable those days before, and I was like, I kind of get tired of being miserable because
Yeah.
I have like zero actually, things to complain about. The only thing is just like I like if I am not happy, then it's like something is wrong. And like I was like, and then I put all my knowledge and awareness into some kind of focus. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, okay, no, I just need to. So happiness is a choice, and I just need to choose happiness. And I decided to go into searching for happiness inside. And
Yep.
I made a decision that I'm not gonna fucking stand up or move from the bed until I'm gonna find my happiness. And it took me maybe 4 hours of tripping inside and doing breath work and moving and making all kind of sound and noise and just like going for it until I fucking get bored of being miserable. And I started laughing inside, like I was like, fuck yeah, check.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
I know that now I definitely, like before I was saying, like happiness is a choice, but I kind of never put that into action.
Yeah.
And this time I went for it. And so now I know that there is a deep inside knowing that can lead me there. So I don't need to know the way. I just need to say kind of yes. That's what we practice, in Tony Robbins. So I trusted my whole system that is gonna guide me there. And it was a weird adventure. It took me, as you say, like 4 or 5 hours to just go and move and scream and do whatever is needed until I found it. And now I made a commitment to get there. And the first thing I do in the morning, I choose happiness and I go there. And it can't. One day it took me 10 minutes. Another days it could take me like 2 hours. But I know it's just a practice, and I know it's gonna become shorter, and I know it's gonna. So yeah, I'm gonna share more maybe at some point. The tricks I learned from that, and like how to make us very simple, like a rule. What we learned from Tony Robbins, to make a very simple rule for me to become happy. And silly rule, I'm not gonna share it publicly. I'm gonna share with you, with everybody who is interested, but I'm gonna share it only in private. So yeah, I cracked it. Yay!
Hey, I love that. Hey, when you get that like little breakthrough and you're thinking about that, it's just like I love that you're like, it didn't matter that it was 4 hours, 3 hours. You're like, wait, what do I like? It was that realization of like, you know what? I'm just bored of trying to think of that way, and it's like I just need to fix this. So
yeah,
sweet.
Exactly. Yeah, welcome.
Cosimo,
Many new people.
Bart,
Many new
guys.
people. Yay.
Cosimo, I haven't gotten a chance to meet you yet. Would you like to express yourself and introduce yourself a little bit, brother? I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I'm in the Tony world since 2013.
Nice.
I'm serving as a senior leader and going to as many events as I can. And I live in Germany. I'm married with a beautiful wife. This is my wife. Let me see here. Is my
Oh,
wife.
I thought you were pointing to your
You
phone.
know,
There she's calling now.
Yeah.
No, that's a client. Yes, that's who I am. I actually today did my holistic wellness triad, and I was going to read it out loud so I can listen to it in the morning.
I love it. Why don't you share it with us since today is Energy and Vitality Day
I
and we
can.
have amazing Scotty and Sagitas here to kind of keep us at the highest level of
Yeah,
outstanding standards.
I
So
can
maybe
do that.
Yay.
yes.
Okay, so okay, I will read it out loud and make a recording of it so I can re-listen to it.
Well, we're
So,
recording this, so you'll be able to watch it back.
Make a move. Make a move as well. I'm curious.
Yes.
Yay! Hey!
now I'm the
Stay.
voice who will lead, not follow, will believe, not doubt, not create, not destroy. I'm a force of good. I'm a force of good. I'm a leader. Defining out, set new standards and step up, step up, step up.
I love it.
Yeah.
The
I love
theme,
it.
I love
the
that.
theme is nourishing transformation, unveiling my limitless best. My physiology is I prioritize listening to my body's hunger signals and fullness hints with respect and awe and honor. My focus and belief is I practice mindful eating techniques, savoring each bite, being present during every meal, avoiding distractions to fully appreciate the nourishment. My commitments I am conscious, committed, mindful, dedicated, intentional, aligned. I'm in harmony. I'm empowered. I'm on the path. I am mindful. And then there is a story that touched me. Jesus said, Martha, you're anxious and disturbed about many things. A few things, though, are needed, or just one. For her part, Mary chose the good portion, and it will not be taken away from her. And then a question, how do I stay always connected to my Creator while I eat? And then the language part. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And my power questions are, what is it about Sunday eating in company that makes me overeat? What can I do to anticipate that and fulfill that need in a more effective way? How can I savor each bite and eat slowly to enjoy my meals fully? What healthy alternatives am I incorporating to maintain balance and satisfaction in my meals? What strategies am I implementing to pace myself and avoid overeating or mindless snacking? How can I create a positive relationship with food, focusing on quality over quantity? How can I cultivate a sense of gratitude for nourishment that I provide to my body, honoring its needs with balanced meals? And my power declarations? I cultivate harmonious and nourishing relationship with food that supports my physical and emotional well-being. I connect with my deepest purpose and why behind my food choices, focusing on foods that energize, nourish, and support my overall health and well-being.
Love that.
Beautiful. Wow.
Beautiful. Yay.
So amazing, brother.
Love
That is
it.
That is gorgeous. One thing I really love is that you're really curious on how you can be even more present to the food that you're bringing into this beautiful temple, which is our body. And one of the things that I personally do, whether I'm by myself or with this amazing crew that you see around you, is we always share grace with each other. And before we eat, we always, grab each other's hands, we always connect, and we always, it doesn't matter where, if I'm in public or in private, it doesn't matter where we are. Uh, I'm very willing to always share this intention. And so it creates this space of like reverence, especially for our food, because I mean, it's entering the most beautiful and sacred temple, which is our body. So something to think about. If it's not something you already do, I'm just sharing. That's all.
Sounds
It's
good. Yeah.
it's priming the food before it enters the body.
Mm.
For sure.
Love it. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Who else wants to say what's good or what could be improved?
Yeah, like I was writing some good notes. Nice to meet you. I'm Scott. I've been doing this nutrition health thing for long decades now. I was curious because yeah, a big thing was about like nutrition, right? So like eating in this like path that we have where it's like, like how do I stay away from eating the bad ones? How do I get rid of the cravings or how do I fix those? Or really what I can see that you're trying to get a lot of or you have a lot of questions about the direction of that nutrition as well. So a big thing just to start when I'm like talking about nutrition with people is like think like I like how you're talking like food is like it's quality over quantity, which is very true. So when I start with anybody, I'm like the big thing I like to do is like okay, let's get a journal, right? So like give me your day, give me your best day, give me your worst day, give me your average day. What you're doing is you're just holding yourself accountable that you could be like okay, like what did I eat today? How did that make me feel, right? And then you're just realizing like what time you like to eat, like work and life is a very like it moves all the time, right? So there's one day I could be working 14 15 hours, I might have the best day of my life on food, or the day that I work 3 hours I'm just really snacky. So a big thing is get that day down, see what you're like, what is easy and accessible for you where you are, right? So that's like okay, I have like chicken available, I don't really eat meat, not protein. I like snacks more than I like big meals. When I sit down and I have those big meals I really feel like I just want to eat as fast as I can. I'm not really just whatever's there. So just getting used to like what your habit is for that. So that's the start for me. So I got to see like, like what is your daily habits? What do you like to eat on a day or what's easily accessible for you? And then how often you are eating these meals, right? And that does change. It's just like your average of your day that you like. So if you wake up at 6 in the morning all the time, then okay, hey, I have to have that meal at 4 in the morning. Like I need to have some energy for my day, right? Or, I wake up with meditation, I wake up with some movement. I don't want to have anything until a little bit after that. And then we start talking about like what we need to feed your body at that time, right? So then you're talking about that quality stuff or, how do I stop that snacking is, or those cravings. It's just making sure our body's getting the macro, the micronutrients that it needs. So, that week could be 3 of those days I'm an amazing eater and I eat everything that I can. Those other 4 days I'm very under calories, I'm moving a lot, I'm burning a lot of calories. That's when your body's like, hey, like, I'm craving carbohydrates, I'm craving fiber, I'm craving these things that I'm not getting in all that time. So that's something that you want to look at as a whole, like that week, right? So a lot of people just be like, okay, like, one bad day. It's like, well, that's if you make up for those other days and you're getting all those good days in, it's not that 80-20 rule. It's just that what works with my lifestyle that I can allow that little bit of that freedom where I can have either less quality food, like less amount of quality food, or I can have that day where, on the Friday where it's like I'm having a great day, I'm eating avocados, I'm eating everything that I can, and I'm allowed to surplus those calories a little bit. But I think a big one is like look at it like as a starting point. So just see you have a lot of really good questions, right? Like I love that about the nutrition side and the health side, and just see what your average day would look like. And then what you can do is you can really build off that you already have. So you're like, okay, like this is my morning. This is when I wake up. I like averagely, like, I normally have a protein shake at 7 or whatever that it may be, that we can build off what you're comfortable doing as your Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday as well. And then we can see what you're missing as a whole instead of like one really good day on Monday, right? Perfect. And this is what I want to do every day. That might not be sustainable to help, like, every day of the week. So you want to make sure it's working with you, like, for every day, for even Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
So if you do that, it's like, if you have that and you can kind of get into that, like a little bit of journaling, or just like put foods that you enjoy that like make you feel good at the time, right? Then I can build off what you're already doing instead of just revamping everything and telling you what to do. Because instead of just me guiding you and just like, here, eat these foods, are going to make you feel better. When you do eat those foods that you're already doing, you notice that they are making you feel better, then we can work on that, because now you're feeling it, you're making that habit, and you're trying that every day instead of just being like, Scott told me to eat my broccoli, like, like back when my dad would yell at me all the time. It's like, no, but why are you eating that? What is that making you feel like, so that we can continue that feeling throughout the week.
And I think that one of the things that, because Scott has so much knowledge and he can download that into our brains real fast, the best thing to do is to really also, and correct me if I'm, wrong, Scott. Is it okay if they ask you lots of questions inside of our WhatsApp group, and you'll be in there attentive and supportive? Is that something that is valuable to them, to you?
Can you add me to the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I can. Of course, I'll add you, brother.
Yeah, like Sagita's on it too. I love it. He's like, we got the different time zones, so I got the brother over there. He's just on it as well. But yeah, what I really want to do is, like, if you guys like building this community, that when you have questions, it's 90% of them, or as everybody else has those questions, right? It's just like, health and nutrition should be on our forefront. Vitality, movement, flexibility. Like, our body is so important that if we're not moving that, and we're not like making better and growing in that area, then everything else starts to slow down, right? Even mind, our body, we start to get lethargic, our work, our sleep, our stress, that they all can combine into one. But yeah, that group is what I want, is like, if you have that question about nutrition, where it's like, hey, I'm struggling right now, and I'm trying to have a healthy breakfast, right? I'm not getting the food groups, I'm not feeling energetic, or maybe I have this meal that I just feel like or this meal for supper time, and I just felt super lethargic after. Like, my stomach was bloated, I was getting pain, whatever it may be, because a lot of people in that group, or just in general, have that same issue. So then I can look at it and I can answer that as well, so then you get a little bit more specific answer as well.
Love it. I will be on another German Tony Robbins call at the top of the hour. So just to tell you that I will be gone on the top of the hour. It was amazing to get. And one thing that came up this week was a story I was living. I was living the story of grandfather during wartime, where they had this saying, if you don't eat in company, you are a thief or a spy.
Oh.
It means you have to eat, and you have to eat a lot. And I was wondering, why do I overeat when I am company? And now I need to change this story to a new one.
Yeah. No, I like that, but
How many times a day do you eat, Cosimo?
Once a day.
Beautiful.
I have some vitamins in the morning, and then I do intermittent fasting for now. During midday, we eat about 1 hour, 1.5 hour spaced, and then that's it. And if I don't eat at night, it feels amazing. Waking up with a good digestion.
So I love intermittent fasting. Like, I didn't even talk about your life. And I was saying, like, pick something that works with you. There's not going to be a specific fad diet or your diet that's going to work with everyone, right? So with that, all I can say, because I know you said you had something pretty quick, is join the group. I can kind of go a little bit more in intermittent fasting, because it's important to have, like you were saying, like, balance, right? So if we're eating once a day, we want to make sure that we're getting all those nutrients and macro, everything that the body needs at that time. It is important to eat slower. So when we're eating one big meal of our 2,500, 2,000 calories, that's a lot of food. So allowing that body to digest, letting it taste that food, letting the stomach fill up with lots of water and what it needs, allows it for later on that, like you're saying, your digestion's good. It's just that we're taking that time. So it's not that you're like, oh, I'm overeating if everybody comes in and stuff. Sometimes that's a thing, but it's our body getting used to that schedule of that time that we eat. So yeah, just make sure, I can tell you're already more aware of that as well. You could probably ask me more about it. Like I was saying, of course, I'll kind of get more into it for you because you're into the intermittent fasting, but making sure you have that balance, right? Like it's so quick when I have people that intermittent fast, they just want to like eat everything and they just sit there, this big plate of food, and they're just going, or they don't eat it all at one time, right? They're like, oh, like I'm full. But that's also our stomach saying, like, hey, like, you can't force more down in there, but we still need those foods. So it's okay to have a longer supper. It's okay to enjoy the the food around company a little bit longer, especially when you only have that one meal. But yeah, that's awesome. I figured I was like, there's probably an intermittent fasting or a little bit something different there, but I love that. And I can tell that you drink lots of water, you're staying hydrated out throughout the day. So that's good to see.
Yesterday was terrific. The whole day was the family. So I ate like 4 hours. It was terrible.
Yeah, I love it. There's time like he does about fixing a mood for 4 hours. So the time goes. I love that it goes by so fast. So
Sometimes it's just a day like that.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I get Eric on that intermittent fasting over there.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the intermittent fasting was something that I used for such a long time, earlier on in my time. But now I find that, especially with Scotty's help, I'm gaining a lot of like healthy muscle, and my body is becoming a lot more stronger naturally, and my energy is just through the roof. Uh, I mean, I've always had really great energy. Uh, it's always been through the roof. The only thing is it's been now I'm able to funnel that energy really deeply into the things that matter most. So where focus goes, energy flows, and then my focus is really devoted. So thanks to having people around me, like Scotty and Sagitas that just continuously help me become the most best outstanding version of myself. I continue to be able to focus on the things that are most meaningful to me. And so I think that this is the way that we really get to harmonize in any community or in any ways that we want to move towards our missions, is really focusing on having the people that are also operating at those outstanding standards in their passion, in their purpose, in their ability to truly show up. So I love, like Tony always says, I like to learn from the ones that do, versus the ones that just talk about it. So this is my philosophy on life. It's always been it's always been the most easiest way for me to learn, because we learn so much more by somebody's behavior and the way that they choose to operate versus the way that they talk about things. And that to me is, we all know language is only 7% of what communication is. So it really is the physiology, 55%, and the additional 40, or 42% from the face, so the focus. So just things to keep in mind, and that's why I kind of wanted to, Tanya, hear from you briefly, if you don't mind. You cut off there at a moment where I was like, what was your biggest takeaway in Latin America? Because energy and vitality is so like, big love, Cosmo, all the best. Take care. I'd love to just, if you don't mind, share briefly what was your biggest takeaway, because energy is also such a key component of communication. If you're not able to speak the language, I don't know if you know or you don't know, but nonetheless, I'm just curious, like, what was the biggest takeaway that you got down there?
Yeah, sure. Like it's a people, actually, the love, the passion. Like when I arrived there, and I don't speak Spanish, so Hola is the most I can do. And I mean, you work with them like for a couple of months, like just over a screen. And then you come to this amazing community and they welcome you with a hug, which is so warming. Like you feel so much energy, feel so much power, you feel so much love. This is mind blowing. It's like I could cry right now because like I feel it. It's like, you know, I miss them so much. And after this, like I've been on that tour like for like 3 weeks, and then private circumstances changed and I didn't know, okay, what should I do now? Should I go just back to Germany, or I don't know? And the guys in Buenos Aires, the community said, well, just come here. Like we have a flat for you. You can stay here. We provide you with food if you can help us somehow. And I was like, you sure? And they said, absolutely. So I stayed there for 5 weeks, and that was just so beautiful. Like, you know, you don't know them, but you kind of know them for years and you build something together. And I've never experienced that. This is so different here in Berlin. This is so different here in Germany, unfortunately. And if you go here like outside and smile, people think, oh my God, what's wrong with you? And yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's Europe, right? I love that. Like for me, like the North American and South American continent is all just so much more friendly. You can sit at a bar and have a conversation with someone for 3 hours and never take any contact details, and it's like you've known each other for 10 years. But you try and do that in Europe, and everyone's like, "Why are you talking to me?"
exactly.
It's crazy.
I think this is the biggest distinction is presence, right? This is the biggest distinction that I've noticed is just being present, because most people that I observe on, you know, in these Western civilizations are stuck in their head, whereas the experience of those, maybe let's call it in the Eastern or in the South Latin American, or I would say are just more, even more in their hearts. They're more present to what's actually going on around them. And so for me, that's been kind of a huge discovery in myself, the more I went on this journey. So it's cool, Tanya. So where are you now? Are you in Berlin now?
Yeah, I'm in Berlin now. Yeah, I
What's
took a
next?
flight. Good question. So maybe I go back, maybe I don't. I need to think what I'm gonna do here with my flat. You know, it's like what I do job wise. Um, hello. So
Guys,
cute.
it's energy and vitality, and Ross is eating McDonald's.
McDonald's. Love it.
Ross the family. That's what he's doing.
I
He's
love
not
it.
even. Oh, I see that it's the kids, not Ross eating it. See, look. Oh, is he
You muted.
muted?
I'm just having a couple bites. They're eating it.
Take it all.
Are you gonna say hi?
Hi.
Even more of a reason to what's it called? Educate them about the.
I see Ross's face. It's good. Yeah, I know. I think Sagitta's probably how, as we're talking about different countries and cultures, I guess it's like it's crazy to think now that it's so easy, accessible, and cheap to get access to, you know, fast food or high dense trans fats foods that it's like I can walk into McDonald's and get a burger ready in less than 5 minutes for like $3. But then if I go to the store and try to grab like fresh lettuce and ground beef, right, we're looking at the $30 kind of thing. So I know it's there's a lot of different options for that stuff, but take it like it's you see it all the time, especially in the different countries as well. But even here is just like it's so easily accessible to, you know, grab certain foods or fast food, especially on people that it's like where I know 90% of us are always on the go, 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 right? We're like, okay, we have to work, we have to do these things. Do I have time to meal prep, or do I have time to even cook a meal for my family? Like, it's hard, especially when we're trying to move that vitality and that health and nutrition up to the top of our list, when it's very easy to get shoved down past everything else of our daily duties. So yeah, I think it's definitely something I could work with kids wise or family wise, where it's like, you can have something in the morning that takes, or even once a week that takes, a couple of hours, where I could be like, hey Ross, let's make some apples and different things for the kids that's like available for them for the whole week or thing. But as well, I mean, we also can't shy away from that. We do need those good food, or we need those little comfort foods once in a while. And I know that some people are like, we don't have to shy that I don't have to ever eat fast food or go get steak. But yeah, I think the accessibility of it is, I think every corner I walk to, I don't know how it is across the world, but every corner I walk to has a different fast food restaurant where you're just like, okay,
It's like that everywhere now, everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just like, oh, I want to go. And then the fresh foods, I got to drive 45 minutes across town and go get, fresh fruits and lettuce. I'm like, what? Like, change that perspective on.
What I feel sometimes that I discovered when I was going through my vegan phase and all of that. I feel is better. Like, the worst thing that it is in all those diets and all those frameworks is the stress factor. If we feel guilty that we eat, McDonald's or whatever, it's gonna just 10 times. It's just the factor of worst increases, I don't know how many times. So the most important, even if it's a fast food or whatever, don't feel guilty or shame about it. Just fucking have it and enjoy it fully.
Yeah,
embrace the moment, like it's a food, it's a source, it's energy anyways. So it's bless it, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it was the big one for the holidays to eat this. It's just like, like most of them ask me, how, like, I want to have a big Christmas dinner and I want to eat sugars and I want to eat stuff. I'm like, you just nailed it. It's like, you're still feeding your body, you're still using it for those, your temple to go. And like, what it is still calories in, calories out, but use it for that good thing, like if I have that sugar rush, go play with the kids, go eat a really good breakfast and lunch and feel good about that. Don't be like, you're prepping your day, and like so many people get stuck in having to follow something so strict. And then that's what I was just saying, is like, it's so easy to be like, okay, I don't have time for this, and then move it down, where it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go get something fast. It's like, well, if that helps you with that day and whatever, there's obviously better choices. But yeah, I mean, hey, the biggest thing is there's overconsumption, there's underconsumption, right? So, I mean, the ones that we're trying to feed our body, we're these high mindful people that need all these calories and need to be functional all day and thinking and moving. Like, Siggy moves the most, but it's making sure that we do
move all the time.
I know.
That's my
make sure you actually have the calories to move. Otherwise, you can't be energetic. There's nothing moving. So, yeah.
Yeah, I also think that there's something to be said about making and creating awareness, because what we thought was actually healthy, and especially as youngsters, we didn't have the awareness when we were kids to be able to eat consciously. So I think it's not only, I think, but I know that it's important for us to give our next generation the choice of helping them and giving them an informed decision, so that they know, because they are of this spirit that's naturally coherent in terms of an elevated state. Some of these foods, what they do is they put us into a state of actually suffering. And it's unconsciously for a lot of people that don't know what they don't know. And especially in Western civilizations, this is the way that a lot of people fucking die. This is the way that a lot of people actually get health, like disease. And this is the choices that they're making by saying, hey, it's okay, or this is normal. Like, it's not normal. It's the opposite. So I think it's important. It's our duty. It's our responsibility to also share and make sure that, hey, there's a better way. There's a better way to really encourage our bodies, our momentum, our vitality. When I was like in India or even in Brazil, there was a lot of veganism and things like this, but also the energy and the joy. There wasn't like this lethargy. Like, there was there was actually a lot of like actual vitality created. And so I think that also then elevates our ability to think clearly, find solutions, because when we're low on energy and we're lethargic, and it affects our body, then it affects our whole next. And the way that we do one thing is the way that we do a lot of other things, most other things, in fact. So something to think about always, especially when we're wanting to be the role models of the next generation.
Yeah, I think you nail it. Like, sometimes we forget often of, like other places and other things where it's like I talk about, like, I think you nailed it, like vegetation or sorry, vegan, or like those options that we have is just like what's available at that spot that makes it easy for people, or like to how to be healthy, where we're not spending, which is in some countries, absurd amount of money just to bring chicken or meat or process things in there, where it's just like having that access to that, where it's like our kids are set up right, or that the family is for you. You're just making those easy choices where it's like that next is just we're feeding them, we're feeding our energy is getting fed to feed those kids as well, where it doesn't have to be that we're going out of the way and going fast food, but just like having that knowledge of like what's available to me here, what's available to my community, what can I make this cute little Ross, this small little change that affects those kids, because like kids, they're just like these little temples that absorb all this energy and all these calories and all these things so fast that they're just like, you give them a little bit of sugar and they're wild. Like I have, like try to sip a pop and this kid was flying around the walls. I'm like, okay, I literally see it happen all the time. So yeah, I think it's a little bit, I like that you put awareness to it, because it's just like, it's everywhere. It's just that, and especially we have that knowledge of like, like I can search for a fast food restaurant. Why can't I search or have this access to search things that are like, available, that are also a little bit more money present, or sorry, money conscious of what we're doing with those little ones. So, I mean,
what do you
a lot of time.
I'm curious from a woman's
But
perspective.
actually, Felicity wanted to say something.
Oh, hello.
Please.
Right, Felicity? You want to explain about being half vegetarian?
Oh.
Felicity, if you do it, I'll give you a bit of my cookie dough chocolate.
There you go. He'll give you some cookie dough chocolate if you tell the story.
Yeah. Oh, Felicity.
Come on, you just told us.
Yeah.
If she doesn't feel comfortable, don't worry. It's all good.
Okay,
Yeah.
no worries. But she was basically saying that she's half vegetarian because she doesn't like many meats. So she likes steak and she likes bolognese, but she doesn't like, and she likes chicken, but she doesn't like pork, and she doesn't like tough meat, and she prefers like a balance of vegetables and fruits. Right?
That's a good diet.
Yeah. There you go. You're a healthy little girl.
I admire your label, half vegetarian. That's the best. That's Alice in Wonderland. Love it.
Balanced vegetarian.
Half vegetarian.
Tanya, I'm curious, Tanya, about your perspective. I'd really love to know what your thoughts are here, based off of kind of your woman's perspective.
Well, like food-wise, I have a very difficult relationship towards food. Like that is a topic I not avoid, but I'm very like, I have to be very like, I was a binge eater myself, like a couple of years ago. So I've been through therapy and looked into that. And for me, I was like, after I binge eat, I was over exercising. So I wasn't throwing up. So I just went 4 to 5 hours to the gym. So for me, for example, I can't do intermediate fasting. I have to have my meals and have to like kind of control like my my food. Like for me, for example, like Christmas and like going out for dinner is super, super difficult and challenging, because it's so easy to get like back into that like old habit, and also like if alcohol is involved is also very, very tricky. I'm not like I've been vegetarian, for example, like for 20 years. And I was like, when I came to South America, like I prepared myself, okay, I'm gonna eat meat, so it's gonna be okay. And like for me, for example, like the first time I ate a steak, I was actually satisfied. I was not hungry anymore. But I do like when I, for example, eat meat, I'm very grateful that there was an animal, for example, dying for me. I really appreciate that. And like I haven't been on hunting, but I think actually everybody should experience that
Nice.
before that, because then you actually value what you have in front of you and that an animal actually gave life for that. So yeah, so that's like I'm very conscious like when it comes to food.
I love that. Like, thanks for sharing that. Sorry, I don't know if Eric cut in there, but I love that you put the like, like hunting or like knowing and being grateful for it. Cause like nowadays, the generation coming up doesn't like, we have that abundance where we have like, I can go to the store and pick which meat looks best, right? Or, which vegetable is a little bit more ripe and stuff. But a lot of times we forget that it's like, like some people, like Eric said, like don't even have access to that stuff or don't have access to meat in general or fresh fruit or fresh vegetables. So um, that's a big one. I love that because I guess I'm a big advocate of like the lifestyle, like like what we just said is like like that doesn't work for me. I'm going through like I'm going through my own adventure, my own path of what I can do and how I can change and be more healthy or what works, right? And I think a big one for me when I like help people or work with them is like you're already doing is like trialing, right? So it's like I gotta see, someone can tell me and someone can guide me to the spot that I want to go see, where it's like I gotta eat smaller meals or I gotta eat more often or I gotta try like I don't need meat right now, but something like later on I can. And just seeing what works with you and like that energy thing was like steak, like I felt like good and I felt flat and I like just so much full and it's just like this new experience. I'm like, that's good. And I love that you were open to that because that's like a big thing. Or you didn't get stuck in that, oh, if I eat too much I have to go work out for 7 hours and burn off all the excess calories that I have. And just knowing that it's a balance, that it's like one day I might not hit the gym at all but my food was on point, and then there's days where it's like my food wasn't on point but I got to go to the gym, I got to move today, and I got to feed it for what it was for today. And knowing that it's not going to be, remember, perfection is the lowest standard. So just every day that we're making that step and making that change, which is, I love to hear those things about different people's stories and stuff. And you look fit. So what I can see there is like I can tell that you're healthy, you're glowing, you have that presence behind you that you're like, you just feel strong, your energy. So I love that.
Thank you.
Mark, do you want to add any insight, you quiet, beautiful man?
Well, my insights are that I know a bit of a couple of my own habits, and I order my food around those habits the best I can. Some of which is a tendency of once something is open, it's gotta get finished. Like why not finish it? It's delicious. Well, why not?
Mm.
Which is why I usually don't have a lot in house.
Mm.
Just what's necessary.
So one of the things that back in the days that I started was a meal prep company that when I was competing at the shows, I would always have this booth, and I would always give out food or things like this to the competitors, because we found that prepping food made us really successful as competitors. So Scotty remembers this, but this was like back in the day when I was still competing. And it was fun. It was a great way to sponsor, meet people, and add value to their health and awareness. And I found that this was the best way to like prep. You know, I would have all of the macros and all of the weights and all of the things, and then I would just eat them. And then people just started to say, "Hey, Eric, like you always have all this food prepped." And then my ex-wife and I at that time, we actually created this company called Lifestyle Cartel. And we ended up doing food for so many people across Edmonton. But one of the things that was I learned from that was how important it is for me to have prepped meals because I hated being in my mind about it, about like moving forward. However, the more that I traveled, the more I kind of went ad hoc and you know, things are happening, whatever, you know, you don't have that type of a structure. But, and not but, and I think that this is something that also helps just people that want to really create a structure around their meal planning and prepping in terms of getting uh their body to its optimal strength. And I find for me that type of structure was really helpful at the beginning to get my mind around it and then eventually uh, flowing into kind of doing it ad hoc. Any insight, Scott? Thoughts?
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, I was writing notes on you. I do remember that time with Eric about it was meal prepping, and like the biggest thing is we do like when we do bodybuilding shows, we have to like over measure and over be prepared. So we're the extreme side of like knowing exactly what's in our body, what's going in, what's coming out, from water all the way to like how many exact carbs. You know, like we don't weigh out the rice by any means. You know, like grams. We do. It's a different kind of measurement, but I think it is like super important, especially for like a lot of business people. Like even more, like I saw it in like the moving. Like I was always doing stuff but business related thing is having that like there, right? So a lot of people are giving me and Eric are talking is like, you know, if I go downstairs after an hour and a half meeting, I already have a meal that's ready that I just have to heat up, right? Or I have something that's already it's been marinating, or something that's easy accessible that like Siggy does good for that. I can throw my eggs in a pan and I just have in a pan that I have a plan going forward with it. That also makes traveling a lot easier as well, where it's like I know what my body needs for that day or those next couple of days, and I know, like, or Mark, you can go on this a little more, but like, we just feel better when we know, right? I don't have to dedicate, 13 hours to going and, or a week if it was making food every day. It's like, how can I make this easier for me that I get what I need? My body's going to feel good. That I can make this a simple thing, and it could be as simple like eventually you get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm measuring out things and I know that it's there, that it's a simplicity. But a lot of people that have those, I ate too much or any kind of eating disorder, it's a little bit harder to go with. It's more about having that readily available to start, where it's like, I can sit down on a Sunday and cook a bunch of food that I need, that I know, and I can just mix into it, that it's available. So when I wake up, I know my breakfast is there. I know my chicken, my rice, or if I'm vegetarian, chickpeas, things available for that side. And then coming into the day, that I'm a little bit more, you just have to grab and go, which I loved. It's always been not just about because I'm a big physical guy and I love fitness and I can have that, like, I know what my body needs. I know I'm going to get that and then I'm good. And then anything more is even better. But yeah, I'm all about the meal prep, but at least the day prep is a big one for me. So just knowing what I coming into the day, knowing that my food's already there, it's already planned out, that I just have to go and I'm going to feel the best just getting that all food in.
So important. At least I think, and now me getting back to my solid strength, I feel like this has been important just to be at least a little bit more structured than I used to be. So just to get myself back.
Yeah. Because you're eating your well, not breakfast I should say, but you're snacking a little bit better now in the morning, Eric. A little more fats in the morning.
Well, and the reason why I'm sharing this, or at least we're talking about this too, guys, is because I was telling Scotty, I was like, man, I don't know why. Like I wake up and I just, do my meditation and I just want to get right to work and I just want to get shit done. I just can't, I have all this energy and I want to just get it all done. And I don't think of food. And then we end up going to the gym at like 4 o'clock and he's like, have you eaten yet? I'm like,
I just see it.
But I have all this energy still.
It takes me that pause. I just have to like read Eric. I just like seeing him like how he has really good energy, but something's missing. I feel it. I'm like, did you eat today? He's like, no. It's like it's like so you can feed off that energy and go, and it's just like the small things now where it's like you said, like you're so busy and you have all this energy, which I love, and you're so dang. It's just like taking that millisecond, that second where it's just like give that body what it needs a little bit in that, before we start going out all those back-to-back meetings where I'm so focused and energy on everybody else that you're giving your body the attention that it needs and the energy as well.
Yeah. I took out some meat from the freezer now.
Yeah.
Talking too much about food. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna eat this animal now.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I
love
am
that.
hungry.
What are you making, brother?
I just took out some beef. I'm gonna fry it on the butter.
Nice. Sorry, Mark, did you have a question, or do you want to add anything about what we've been talking about?
I've had a question for a while now. I've been waiting for it, letting it simmer. I have a question for you because I'm quite interested what your answer shall be. Having been on the journey and lived it for a while now, what currently is your favorite food habit that you have?
Ooh, my food habit. My big one that I changed a lot, it's kind of like 2 into 1, but is my breakfast time. So I believe like a big thing when I do shows or fitness or based around what I do is like waking up. Now everyone's different, right? Like I totally understand intermittent fasting and stuff, but like your body just slept for 8 hours. Like, so it's like, it's absorbed everything, it's digested everything, it's ready to get up and it's ready to move. My big thing is when I woke up, it was just like getting the water and get the food that I need in there so that I can start my day. And then if I have a busy day, at least I know that I have that energy and that sustenance that I need to at least get me to later in that afternoon where it's like, that's when I'm going to be at like we talked about when I'm going to work out or when I go. So my big thing was just like, I like that. I like the meditation. I like my Zen time in the morning where I can just, focus on getting up and moving and flexible. And then the next thing I do is just making sure I'm feeding that body where it's just like, I'm focusing on myself. So my whole morning is based on myself. And it's like, how do I move better? How do I wake up better? Did I sleep good? Getting into that energy state, getting into that Zen, whatever that I need to for that day. Or like Eric said, it's just like, I got to get shit done today. But before I get that shit done is like, I got to give it I need to feed it. I need to get it going. That it's like, just for me, because I'm such a nutrition and feed my temple and feed my body. So, and then I talk about like what I eat, but yeah, that was a big one for me, is just like it's so easy to forget, right? The second you wake up, you're just like, you can have so many things. You're gonna have your checklist going off, or you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta go coffee, I gotta have a call, I gotta go to work, I gotta have the kids, I gotta go drive. Like we get so overwhelmed so quick that it's like, take that second where it's like, it could be just simple as like eggs and toast, right? Where it's just like, I just did a meditation for myself. I just had my moment to myself. I just had my water glass. I'm thinking, I'm getting my day started, that I just start feeding it in a good way. Yeah. So that is one of my favorite ones. And pardon?
Sorry, Scott. I was just gonna say, really, really use a lot of the Foundations of Vitality group, because my hallucination is that Scott needs to get a little bit more embedded in there, and by us asking him questions in there when we're not in here, he will have more of a muscle movement into answering questions in there. And I'm saying this, I just want to, because I know how meaningful this is to you, bro, and I know that it's something that you want to really continue to grow, but like it's just something that if people ask more questions in there, then you have no choice but to answer. That's all.
I think I'm gonna start. I think that's a big one that I'm gonna go, because Mart asked, you got the wheels turning there, and I think it's something I can start asking people as well, where it's like, even today I'll just ask after this meeting or something here in a sec, is like, how often or how many of us are oftenly eating breakfast, and then what does that look like to them? And like breakfast can be many things, right? Like there's no, it could be water, it could be I have a juice shake in the morning. It's just something that it's like I kind of want to get a thing of why and how these people feel, that people can relate back, where how I feel eating breakfast, or like how Eric has unlimited energy until 4 o'clock is not the normal like the people think about, right? They're like, usually I have to have something. So yeah, I think engaging more on that side and seeing what people, getting a good judge of our community and how they are right now. So
I love that. Great idea.
the
People need you gentlemen a lot.
the muscle movement.
They really need to get out of the mind and into the body, and it's so important because you gentlemen have been embodying that for so many years. I think it's important for people to get your wisdom, and to really, I believe that a lot of people get stuck in their head because they get fat, because they eat shit, because they don't pay attention to what they're eating, because they are not moving, they're not lifting, they're not running, they're not enjoying life like the playground that it is. And so, we all know when we're in our heads, we're dead. And people are, have you guys, I don't remember this movie, but it was, oh, fuck, it was something to do with that they're up in space and they're on this big like rocket ship, and it's a cartoon, and everybody's like a super fat blob, and they roll around in the carts.
Oh, that's Wally, I think, isn't it? The garbage
Maybe it was
one?
Wally. Yeah, it was Wally. Yeah, it was
I remember
Wally.
that movie. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
drinking out of tubes and they're all huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a holy shit movement, because it's literally what's happening on the planet. Just everybody is this fat ass. I mean, everybody is the wrong word. I'm sorry.
The majority of that in that show, everybody
People are just not paying attention to their ability to really take care of this profound instrument, which is our temple, and utilizing it to its ultimate fucking capacity to really be able to receive so much more information that's readily available, because our communication, not only in external, moving outwards of communication and physiology, is 55%, but we're also receiving information a lot more from the body as well. And so people forget this, but we can't connect to that if it's not healthy, if it's not vital. And that, I think, is something that most people, they just really need you fellas. They really need you both.
Yeah, I think Diana is just like, I know, like we just talked about earlier, like it's so easy to be like, take the easy way, eat the weird, or the fast food, literally, in tendencies that it's fast and accessible, but like you said, our body is just like really good at telling us these things, where it's like he doesn't know this, but he feels a lot, where it's just like our body knows and tells us at the time, like okay, that's calories in, but how this is going to make you feel like this, or this is going to make you feel bloated, this is going to make you feel tired, like there's so many signs, and like there's ways that our body is letting us know about these things that we're doing to it and what we're feeding it. And what about movement is like the biggest thing is like, yeah, like you're always telling me, it's like when I don't move, I get more tired. I'm like, well, yeah, your body's telling you. Sagitas probably know what to say. Like, you ever get that when you like the second I stop moving, is when the second it's just like, oh, like like it's like I want to move. I gotta start moving. Like it's just getting that tired.
Yeah, I cannot not move. Like that's something that I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of that, if it's gonna be need to get rid of that.
I don't think you're allowed to. I think that's amazing. It's just like
I love it.
That's even I was talking to Brenda. It's just like she's like, oh, like like I get stiff when I like like a lot of times I'm stiff throughout the day. I'm like, wow, the more we sit and the more we're just not allowing that body to move or just get those in between breaks. It's like it's just get like everything, just our body's telling us, just everything tightens up, everything wants to, like we don't need those muscles to move.
Yeah, it's interesting, to notice that when I move, for example, in the morning, I do my morning routine, or and that's mainly flow, right? I'm just feeling what needs to be done, and if I don't move, or I move less after, like 4 or 5 hours, I can feel how it starts becoming back like stiff, And I'm still in the process of opening it up more and more, and like I'm unlocking a lot of my body. So, but I assume there's gonna be a point in the future where it's not gonna come back. Like somehow I have this feeling that is just until I'm gonna reach that level of complete. And of course I'm gonna keep on moving, but the contractions are not gonna come back anymore at some point. Because now they are coming back only into those places that is very deep. So like when I move my neck and I move, it's like I don't even know the names of the muscles, but they are like they are super deep inside and between the joints, between the bones. That's where it's the starts, like I can start feeling, and so I notice now that after half of the day I need to move, I need to sit down and go into deeper, unlock it again, and then again, and then again, and it goes deeper and deeper. It's just interesting.
I love that. Being body aware and conscious of that is huge, right? Like that's people, bodybuilders, even me and Eric talk about it all the time, like the mind muscle connection, but just that having that and having that awareness of it, of like, this is stiff, I need to move this. And then that's that first recognition of like, okay, like how, right? And then most people are like, well, like I'm kind of stiff, but I got like 9 more hours at a desk that's bent over the whole day. And it's just like, it's so easy to be, which our bodies are not meant to be. I mean, we were built and you grow and we adapted to having these appendages in our feet, which are not meant for, there's so much, but we're meant to move, right? I mean, we're not meant to be sitting. Our butts are made, our tailbones are made to be sitting all day. So getting more people aware of that side of even just like, you can sit and you can do these things, but take a 5-minute breather. Like they say, like, oh, like the standing desk is the new thing. It's like, no, it's just a movement. The movement's always been there. Movement's always been the thing. We got to get that body moving. You want to talk about metabolism, you want to talk about digestion, you want to talk about the healthy side of things and the move and like our physicality of it. Like of course that's loading those movements, but yeah, just moving. That's sitting is a death. But I love that. I guess he doesn't have to unlock me. When you come down, you have to get me moving again.
Fuck yeah. I'm looking forward a lot to like cooking and being more in service. That's what I feel this time.
I know we're gonna be there. We're gonna be like back. We're gonna be me and you are gonna be back to back cooking, and then Eric's gonna be down there. We're gonna have a screen in front of us, and everybody's gonna be smelling it, trying to dancing in the kitchen while making food. They're like, "Who are these men?"
Well, I'm gonna listen to my body. It's time to eat.
Beautiful.
Good. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm already frying.
Yeah. He's fried. Take care, Art.
What are you
making, Sakitas?
I'm making meat and potato and carrot, frying in the butter. This is the thing, right? Like, so this is what I'm holding myself back from giving any advices when it comes to food, because I just eat whatever. And then I need, then I want, like I don't have schedule. I don't have, I just, if I need food, I eat. If I don't need, I don't. And like I call it intuitive diet.
Exactly. So I just want to highlight that this is exactly what happens when people take a lot of responsibility for their body, right? So as a result of taking that responsibility, now Sakitas has the freedom to really pay attention to the intuition of his own body, and now can really be more in flow with what he chooses to eat. This does not happen. It's not
over by default.
Yeah, it's like
it's like Tony Robbins, right? It's like he has those 8 layers of consciousness. It's like once we go through all those 7 layers consciousness, then we made, then we don't need any rules, we don't need a numbers guide, like, and everything can start flowing. Like there is this just awareness of all the levels, all the layers. And this is what I feel here is with the food, right? Like I went through a lot of diets, I went through intermediate fastings and all kind of that until I tune my system until like, okay, now I can eat, and it's just became the machine that just functions.
It just knows, it just eats. Yeah, I think that's like it's a higher level thing when we talk about like you said, being aware of it, but also knowing our body. Like when Eric talks about it, it's like knowing what it needs and listening to it, and knowing that it's like I don't have to, like, I have a set thing when it comes to it where I know I need to eat this amount of food, but knowing where it's like, if I'm hungry, it's okay to go take that, even if it's prepped, it's like, or if I don't need it, like Eric, until the end of the day, it's like knowing I still, okay, I still need to get these meals and I still get these nutrients in there because I know I have that physiology goal of looking a certain way or feeling a certain way. But tell people all the time, it's just about a feeling. Like if I'm just out there to be like, I'm trying to feel good and feel healthy, it's like your body will tell you, like it's how quick is if we start eating trans fats and oils and seed oils and stuff, and then we switch those good fats, avocado oils and seeds and hemp seeds, how quick those trans fats don't taste good anymore. And it's just like, well, look how quick your body's telling you. It's like, this is what it needs. We don't need to eat those processed foods all the time. Crazy to me. I taste it when I have desserts though. I'm always that was at Christmas time. I was just like, I'd go eat I'd go have the turkey dinner, and then I'd go trick like a home baked, like I'm sure Eric's your family makes them too, but mom would make pastries or these little cookies, homemade, amazing. Obviously they have sugar. I know what's going into my body. And then I go to like the plastic bin and open up with those sugar cookies, and I would just be like, what is this? Like you could just taste all the process. Like, I don't want that. Like I couldn't even eat the cookie. And then I'm like, Mom, give me another one of those things. Like, so it's, and that was
and there exactly, there is some foods that I look at them and it's just like a no. It's a very clear no. It's like, this thing is not going in my body. That's it. It's like, no. I don't even think about it. I don't need to argue inside. It's just clear. It's just clarity, knowing.
Yeah. Or I'll look at the bag. That's a big one for me. I was like, you're questioning it, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, what is this? And I go to the ingredient list, and the first thing is like processed or starches, or I'm just like, oh man, no, I'm not gonna put that in me. Like, if that main ingredient is already there. It's like, nope, I already thought about it. My body was telling me it had the sign. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm really grateful to see you, Scott, on the call. It's really exciting.
I'm excited to get not back, keep on my routine of these things with you guys, because you've got the energy boys, the vitality boys,
and and that keeps us going. Like it's like we don't talk every day so much about food. This is the first time probably in the Lighthouse we spend the whole time landing on food.
It's important, bro. It's so nice, Scotty. Like, you really have to understand how valuable this is, not only for us but the whole community, right? So how important your additions, not only here but also in the WhatsApp group, are really like valuable. So it's like we really value your intellect, your wisdom, and how you show up. So just keep being amazing. And
Tony. Oh, sorry, Harry. I thought you finished.
No, go ahead.
Like Tony is talking, like, in life, it's about giving, and this is the hour of giving, right? So like you share knowledge, share the experience, and that's a fulfillment. Of course, you probably do that during the days, but this is also like another kind of giving, and unconditional giving.
Yeah,
giving to the community, family.
Yeah, and I hear like even right now I'm realizing it more and more, and I'll have to reach out to the actual community, like the Lighthouse community in general before. And then foundation is like it's everybody gets stuck in their mind around nutrition and eating, and do I eat too much, or do I eat too much? Do I eat too little? What do I eat around Christmas? It's like there's so many questions based around it, especially around holidays. I find like when people actually have the time, or when they're with their families, when those questions arise so much, and it's like, no, ask them. Like three of them or three people even today just had questions, or not questions, but things about their nutrition or their health. It's just like, well, nutrition's important. Like,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's your first step, right? Where it's like, you don't have to be stuck in a plan. Like, I'll help you, like listen to your body, like ask the community, where it's just like, hey, you're not the only one that has like this feeling of, or like I eat too much, or I binge eat. Like it's common, right? A lot of these things are. You're not the only one. And I think that's the biggest one. Like, if I can reach out to these people to be like, is like, you're not the only one with that question. Like, ask that. Like, we can rely we can lean on everybody, and it's like we can help that person, and it's just like I can sit back and be like, hey, Eric has that meal prep, or Sekides has this thing, and it's just that we feed off each other. It's like
people can choose, it's a beautiful
we present the I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what's beautiful is because what I notice in these lighthouse gatherings, that there is this magic. Energy chooses where to go by itself, where it needs to go. And today somehow I feel, and that's just my hallucination, but because we talked so much about food, and then I was a bit feeling uncomfortable because the Tanya just invited, and then we just go on the food. So I was like, oh, the first impression is gonna be food, whatever. But maybe that's for her, needed. It was a need for her to hear all of that, and then she opened up about food, and this is just fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So it's magic how it happens, and I like that it's uncontrolled environment. That's where the flow, can do what it needs to do, kind of energy.
Yeah, I love that. Like how you said, she came in and she was just thinking about my plan and where I was, and Eric was good at getting the not guiding her, knew she had more questions and more to tell, and then like you said, as soon as we didn't have to say anything. She just came in and was just talking about it, and I love that. It's just hey, this is an open space. Get that energy out. Ask those questions, and I just see her fizzle out, her change. Just from her talking about it at first, and she's getting there. And that's just I see that you've made this change. I can see it in you. I can tell that you're healthy and you're fit. You're making those choices. And just the radiance, the glow. She was just thank you. This is and it's good. You have to get that out. That's so good to see you making that change instead of just being stuck in that her story. But I can tell it's not as much as now. But and then same with that fellow there, I forgot the name, of course, gonna be in the conversation, but it's just hey, you're making these changes. Don't be so hard on yourself where it's I'm eating too much, I'm eating too little. It's just hey, you're giving the body what it needs. Just simple journal stuff down. Let me see what you see the goods in the day and get used to back on a habit of how you can eat better, and this how you feel during that day. And then we'll talk about how that works for them. But I'm glad he came into that. I feel like he will jump into that and hopefully ask some questions about it, and then or ask me everything about intermittent fasting. But we've all done it.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about this place, it's always authenticity and vulnerability, right? So this is the energy that we always emit. One thing I want to just highlight tomorrow, fellas, is you are both encouraged and invited to be at our Stand Up for Balance Ventures, because we are tomorrow doing our plan for 2025. So you gentlemen, as well as Ross and Ronald and myself, will all be there, the 5 of us tomorrow. So it would be amazing if we're all there together. So as we're planning out 2025 and we want to really bring it with energy, I think this will be a beautiful intention to do on New Year's Eve as a team on the 31st. Huh?
Yeah.
8 to 9 are MST though, right?
Yeah, so 8 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to participate, but thank you for the invitation.
Well, as you feel, my friend. I know that you trust in whatever happens, so it's definitely. I know that you trust in the way that we decided. So if you don't feel, then it's okay. I totally understand. Okay.
Beautiful.
I love it. Yeah, I'll be there. And then Eric, you got a break right now, kind of. So we get some food so we can lift some heavy things.
Yes.
I love it.
Because now that I'm here,
action.
It's like he does as he's eating. Yeah. Now that I see your where's his beautiful face, I'm gonna put you up on my screen. Hang on, how do I do that? I might pin you up here. Now that I can see you and I know you're we have an hour and a half. I'm I know what that means. That means you have half an hour to go get some good food and sustenance, so I can see you crush it and then feel good about it. Because I know you're gonna not eat until about 4 p.m. again, and then you're gonna eat at 7, and you're okay, well that's good.
What are we training?
We're gonna do a push or pull day, probably push day, because I like that you like chest with me that day, so it's gonna be shoulders, chest, triceps, quads.
Nice, I love it. I can't wait to see it.
Because you were gone all weekend, right? You were gone or 2 days, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
and then no gym.
Where are you going?
honest.
I haven't hit the gym. I haven't hit the gym for 3 days, 4 days.
We're gonna go crush that, and then maybe even on New Year's, if I think it's open New Year's Eve, it might be the morning. We could do the morning meeting and then go crush hamstrings, fat thighs, and back.
Love it. Let's do
Okay.
it.
I love it. But yeah, even if you just get your almonds in, you get some fats in you, something. But
Make
it'd
some
be
toast
great to
today.
have not as much as the protein. Protein might slowly feel a little bit lethargic, but like rice and almonds, a little mix of something simple, even as that. Just get that carbs and fats in you, and then we can go. You'll be energetic in an hour here.
Okay, girl. Love it.
Cool.
Okay, I'll see you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll see you at the gym, and then I got that in my schedule from Tuesdays on, so and then Fridays. So
Love you, gents.
nice, Sagitas. Nice
Have a
seeing you.
beautiful day.
I love seeing you.
And
If I don't hear from you, if I don't see your
Happy New
beautiful
Year.
face, yeah, I was gonna say if I don't see your beautiful face, then Happy New Year, and then I'll see you in the new year. See you next year.
Hopefully
love.
you can make it because I'm going to put
Let's
it
see.
out there with the
Beautiful.
hope and a prayer.
Let's see. Thank you.
Mwah.
Much love.
Love you, brother.
I love you.